What's up, guys, and welcome back to SCUM. Now, as you can see, the project base or sample base looks a lot different now. Somebody in the comments suggested that I try building a base on an official server. And I'm not going to do that. I don't play on official servers. But it got me thinking, our original base was not particularly well fortified. So, what if we decided to go all out and fortify this thing as best as we possibly could? And this is about what I've come up with thus far. Let me know what you guys think of it. We're going to go on a little tour. Now, I don't remember before if we had these spikes out here in front of the barbed wire or not. I don't remember if I added those for this or if they were already here in the last video I showed you. But we have reinforced the barbed wire with some wood spikes. And that still, unfortunately, does not keep puppets from getting over. It keeps most of them, but some of them can still jump over this. And they were still getting on the bridge. So, we have now enclosed the bridge completely. And I went ahead and upgraded pretty much everything up to metal, or at least with, like, the walls barbed wire, just because I like the look of it better. But I noticed something. Puppets, also, for the record, right now, I have, I have immortality set, so, like, I can run into these and not die. I had to do that because I'm really bad at running into these kind of things, and I was just dying a lot, so I've got admin commands set to where I have immortality right now. So, but I noticed that puppets don't die in the water very quickly at all anymore. Did they change that for 1.0? Because I was using the seaplane. You can still see the seaplane over there. To draw puppets out, I wanted to see if they ran out around these barricades, if they could still make it over. And holy crap, they ran out into the water. They could still sprint on the bottom of the lake. Like, over to the island and back. And halfway back out again before they died. So, apparently water now is not a very good barrier for the puppets. So that sucks a whole lot. But that's the other reason for doing all of this extra barricading. Now, you can kind of see it from here. We have a wall all the way around the island. And the wall is then surrounded by a layer of barbed wire and then a layer of the spikes. I will show you that here in just a sec when we get across. Now, I have also put barbed wire all the way across the top of the bridge, so that were anyone to try to, drop in on top of that, they could not get into there. Now, unfortunately, I had to leave this one open because it interferes with the doors. I could probably destroy the doors, put that on there, and then put the doors up, and it might work, but this actually worked out for getting barbed wire up there. And it doesn't really matter if somebody could drop into here. I was planning to lace the bridge with mines if we were to actually do this seriously. The problem with single player is if you put down mines or claymores or whatever, when you log off and then come back on, they have disappeared. Now, I didn't bother arming any of them because this was just a test. I was just placing things, so I don't know if arming them will prevent that or not, but I had that turned off. But this is not our official single-player base. So for those of you wondering, this is not our official base. This is just me messing around, seeing what all I could do, because you guys have suggested or requested that I just kind of show what we can do over here. So this is kind of what I have come up with. I would love to hear suggestions on how to improve things. Now, we get down to here, and I've got a couple of flame turrets set up. The reason I chose the flame turrets, I didn't need to shut that off, but that's okay. The reason I chose the flame turrets is because they just run off of gasoline for their ammunition. You still need a generator to power them, but their ammunition is gasoline, which is free to get for me. So I could keep these stocked without having to actually spend money on ammo or crafting ammo or resources or whatever. And they have enough range that they should be able to keep the bridge safe. You know, anything that tries to get on the bridge is going to be trapped on the bridge. And then hopefully, I haven't tested it, but hopefully, you know, because we left all of that open, these turrets can hit anything trying to run down the bridge. Now, I also had to do these little kind of nooks over here just to be able to connect the wall to the door and whatnot. But those are a really great place to put claymores, so that if something does make it up to here, they would be standing right in between two claymores and go boom. I had debated about putting a couple more turrets on the roof of this that were longer range, you know, maybe like the 50 cal turrets or something like that, but I really just don't think I want to mess with that. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, this took a long time to do, and I used God mode for all of this. For this whole project, I've been using God mode just because, like I said, this is not our official base. This is just me experimenting, seeing what I can do. I had to clear most of the brush around here just to be able to do anything. But, you can see we have a wall all the way around. And I put some guard towers. I've got one here at the front gate so that, you know, you could potentially clear out puppets from the gate across there, or NPCs, or whatever other players if it was PvP. Got a couple of guard towers over here so that we can kind of, you know, keep the shorelines maintained. Not that that should really be an issue here, but again, if it was PvP, you could potentially have players out there trying to snipe at your base or whatever. So you could, in theory, keep this cleared. Now, if I was going to try for a base like this on a multiplayer server, this would not be a solo base. This would have to be a squad base just to be able to maintain everything. But we got another guard tower over here. I had debated about putting a garden down here. You know, it's a decent little spot for one. The problem is I would have to knock out a chunk of the wall, replace that with a door, and take out one of the things of barbed wire and spikes just to be able to get to the water there. Which we could do. But I don't necessarily like having, you know, a back door that would be, you know, that would bypass all of the other defenses. So, instead, I'm looking at, what if we put a garden in, like, right over here, in this area? Still just as open, so it would get plenty of water, plenty of sunlight, hopefully. But I've got a door here that goes out onto the rocks, and normally I would have, you know, mines or claymores or something at all of the doors. Every single door have a claymore. But we also have a turret out here. Now this one I just did the basic turret, you know, because you can load it with 12 gauge. I would maybe go back and redo that one as flame as well. The range on them is not much different. And I debated about putting more turrets out, you know, maybe try to put another one on that rock and put one over here. I don't know quite how far out we can do turrets, but here's the defenses that I wanted to show you guys. So we've got the wall, barbed wire, more barbed wire, and wooden spikes. So anybody or anything trying to get to this wall is going to have a really, really bad time. I have not done anything with this dock yet, because if this was going to be a super secure thing like this, I probably just wouldn't have this dock. If we were going to do any fishing, it would just be come out here onto these rocks and fish off the rocks, rather than building an exposed dock like that. But I'm still trying to decide if I would, want to do another tower over here or something like that. So I hadn't quite decided on that. If you guys have any suggestions for something like that, let me know. Again, I don't know how much more we're going to do on this sample base, because this is just me, like I say, fiddling around with stuff that I could do. Anywho, yeah. Went ahead and reinforced all of this stuff up to metal. There's a claymore in here. There's be a claymore. No, 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 no. I thank you. That's been a bit of an issue with some of this stuff. All of the brush and whatnot around here keeps getting in the way of stuff that I need to do. But all of this has been upgraded to metal. And I went with metal for a couple of reasons. One, I like the look of it. It looks very kind of cobbled together, post-apocalyptic. But also, metal is the first one that you need that is relatively easy to build resource-wise. It's mostly scrap. But you still need a specialty tool like a sledgehammer to break it down. I claymore at this door here. I had on here, okay, so I've put a latch on this ladder. I had a claymore at the base of the ladder. And then I think I had another claymore kind of off to the side over here. We still have this whole area here enclosed. I was trying to decide if I wanted to try building the wall up any further that way. But right now, I kind of like it as is. Climb. And then up here, I've enclosed all of this. I had a claymore over here as well. I think I had a claymore on this side of the stairs. And then I had a claymore sitting at the very top of these stairs right behind this door. And then we've got another flame turret up here. So anybody trying to, parachute in up on top of the rock formation would have to contend with the flame turret as they're trying to land. And then I was probably going to put a bunch of mines and stuff up here. Again, this is all hypothetical. If we were trying to do this on a PvP server, and holy crap, I will tell you, this took a lot of base building elements. So this will attract drop ships on any server that has drop ships on. It started attracting drop ships before I even finished just the spikes on the outside. I had to start with the spikes, then do the barbed wire, then do the wall, because I wanted the spikes to be as far out as possible. And by the time I got from the gate to not even quite over to the rock formation over here, just with spikes, it was already attracting drop ships. So if you like this design and you want to try putting all of this effort into fortifying this island, I would highly suggest you maybe add some rocket turrets. But let's see, I've got barbed wire on top of the staircase over here as well. I try to put barbed wire on top of pretty much everything so that nobody could drop in on it. I tried putting the barbed wire up on top of the rock here, but just the terrain is so wonky up here that it doesn't work. So, as I said, screw it, we'll just use a flame turret and then put a bunch of mines and stuff up here. And speaking of mines, I would probably kind of booby-trap the whole island with mines as well, just so anybody trying to land on the island is going to be dropping into a minefield. I really wanted to fortify up here, you know, so that I could have a raised position where I could, get a lot of coverage. But the guard towers work well. Let's see, I said I have immortality, so hiya. I went ahead and upgraded the guard towers up to metal as well. Originally, I was just going to do the bottom section. Because I thought, that gives me enough. I can see over the wall. The problem is, I don't know how, like, the barbed wire there interferes with being able to actually shoot. So, I ended up doing the second level. But it bugged me at first because, like, from up here with this level of upgrade. Let's see, what is that? It kind of starts to cut off your field of view. But then I remembered SCUM allows you to adjust your crouch height. For those of you that don't know or that are new to SCUM, to adjust your crouch height, hold Control, and then use your mouse wheel when you're crouched. I don't know. Okay, it'll do it. You don't even have to be crouched. Like I'm fully standing right now. Just hold Control, scroll your mouse wheel, and it lets you adjust your height. I love that about SCUM. I wish other games would do that. Because, I could get down to about maybe that level there, maybe that one, and be fairly well protected, but still be able to see what I'm trying to shoot at. I like that bridge, honestly. Now, I got some of the inspiration for this from the movie 28 Years Later that came out recently. For those of you that don't know about that movie, it is the third entry in the 28 Days Later franchise. Basically, zombies. Primarily affects the UK. That's where it takes place. But the survivors in 28 Years Later have an island. And there's a land bridge that goes across, and that's protected by the tide. So at low tide, you can cross this. At high tide, you can't. That's kind of what I was hoping for with this island here, is that the water here was deep enough that puppets could not cross it, but whatever. But, they had the entire island kind of fortified like this. They had guard towers where they had, archers and whatnot for defenses. So that's kind of what inspired this design. Because we can do a lot more with SCUM, I went ahead and did a lot more. But that's kind of what inspired all of this. Now, in theory, this is something that we could do in the official single player. If you guys want to see me actually build this thing, not using God mode, or I guess if you want to see the build process of me doing this with God mode, I can do that, but if you want to see me actually build this, or something similar to this, maybe slightly less fortified, I don't know, on the official single-player series, let me know. That would be a long grind. And I don't know that I would show you... I wouldn't make you guys sit there and watch me just build each individual element, but the point is you guys would still get to see the progress of it being made. I would probably do some kind of... like building montage videos where, I'm building a little bit and then it kind of does a gentle cut to where that section is finished and I'm working on the next section and stuff like that. Just because otherwise it'll take me alone the rest of the year to build all of this. Maybe not quite that long, but the point is it'll take a long time. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys what my brain comes up with for a fortified base. And I tend to go overboard, like with all the barbed wire and stuff like that. But when I think fortifications, I think, how can I make this as impossible to get into as possible? That as impossible as possible. Sure, we'll go with that. Point is, I wanted this to look and feel like a fortress. Now, we could still build on the island. You could build build an actual building, castle, whatever the heck you want to do. But this is just exterior defenses. And this is the kind of stuff that my brain comes up with if you ask me for heavily fortified. So, if you guys have any suggestions about how we could improve this design, or if you're looking at a bunch of this and going, you don't need most of that stuff. If there's a much simpler way to still get the desired effect, please let me know in the comments. Because I don't generally do base defenses, because I always play single player, or playing on the Wolfpack server, it's a PvE server, where base rating is not allowed, so there's not really a need for me to ever fortify anything like this. So I don't know if this is effective, or, I mean, it's effective, but I don't know if it's efficient or not. But, anywho. I also just love the look of this, because this looks like a damn apocalyptic stronghold here. I love the look of this. And that's why I kind of didn't want to go to, any higher on upgrading stuff. I like the look of the metal, because it still looks cobbled together. Just like the wood and the scrap metal and the barbed wire. Just, it looks good. I don't really want to go through and do all of this in concrete. Because if you have the resources to go through and actually do something like this in concrete, you probably have the resources that you could just dig a bunker into the ground and have an impenetrable fortress that way. Just dig out a big-ass hole, pour a concrete bunker in the ground, and bury it. But I just love the look of this, and it got cloudy. How dare you? But anyway, I think that's about all I got. This is a shorter video, so I apologize for that. I know you guys typically like the longer form videos, but I just kind of wanted to showcase this for you, get your all's opinions on it, and just kind of give you an idea of what my brain comes up with for base ideas. Again, let me know if you would like me to actually attempt to build something like this on the official single-player series. I don't know if we would quite go this all out, just because, like I said, this takes a lot of resources. Holy crap. So we might cut things back a little bit. Maybe not do quite all of the barbed wire up there. I'm not even 100% sure if I can do the turrets, because I can't remember if you need something from the... Don't you need, like, the targeting modules or something from the mechs to do turrets? I don't know. I've never actually built turrets before. Like I said, I did all of this with God mode, so... Anywho. I think that's about going to do it for this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys seem to be liking the base building episodes, so that's kind of why I'm doing stuff like this. You guys want to see more base building stuff, so I'm trying to do little bonus episodes like this to showcase some of the base building ideas that I have for certain locations. we can certainly do something like this. You know, you guys, I'll tell you what, if you guys want, pick locations for me. Just drop them in the comments. Pick locations that you would like to see me build a base. And we may not necessarily do it in the official series, but I could do just a bonus base building series like this, where you guys give me a location and give me some ideas as to what you want to see for the base there, and I will do my best to come up with a really good base design for wherever you guys want to see it. So if you guys want to, want me to, pick a cave somewhere, if you want me to do a cave base, if you want me to just, build kind of a fort, out in a field or whatever, kind of like what we had, way back when I built my ideal single player base over there. I did a video on that a while back. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. That one I managed to work in a basement to a building, or so I'm kind of proud of that one. But if you'd like to see me build a base, down on the shoreline over the water, do kind of a, pick like one of the coves or something where it's shallow enough that I could just build the whole base essentially out on top of the water. Let me know if you want me to pick something, in a POI and try to build something there, or take over a building and see what we can do to fortify that. Let me know. Like I said, this is all just whatever you guys would like to see on stuff like that. I enjoy the base building, and you guys seem to enjoy the base building, so I will leave that up to you guys. But I'm 100% open to a series like that. If you guys want to see just more base building in different locations, give me locations in the comments, and we can start fiddling around with stuff like that. Also, if you guys have any suggestions on how we could fortify the dock without making it, I don't want to do like a fully enclosed dock. I want to still be able to fish. What I wanted to do is build a dock out that would be over the water, fortify the outside of it, but have the middle be open to where we could fish inside, essentially. But the water's too deep here to be able to do too much of that. So, anywho, that is going to do it for this episode. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any suggestions for other base ideas, for improvements to this one, or just anything in general. And then next episode, we will be getting back to the official series where, let's see, where were we? We were at this gas station. We had just gotten, or actually, we weren't quite there yet. We were still in this town, I think, but I got back to this gas station over here. I fixed up that Rager, so we're probably going to be heading on from there, and the next episode is probably going to be somewhere in this area over here. I'm not going to go back to the airfield yet. I want to get over here so that we can start working on the official base, but we have some places to stop on the way, so let me know what you guys would like to see as far as stops on the way. We got a couple of towns here, and we have the castle. I'm definitely going to stop at the castle, because we need a better bow. But let me know if you guys would like to see me hit this little town, or this little town, or the little military camp here, because I'm probably going to check those, if for nothing else than to hit the police stations. Beyond that, I don't know, because we don't need a whole lot of other just gear at the moment. I want to get over here and start building our base. So, let me know what all you want to see as far as stops along the way. I would like to show you guys the castle, because they reworked the castle, and it looks beautiful. So, we're definitely going to be showcasing that, but I don't know how tired you guys get of me, hitting small towns and whatnot. I know that kind of gets repetitive, and they're not the most exciting thing a lot of the time. So let me know how much of that you guys want to see, and we will go from there. Um, Other than that, I can't really think of anything else that I need to ramble to you about. So I'm just going to plug the links in the description. We've got St. Jude Children's Hospital and Wounded Warrior Project, both linked in the description. So if you'd like to check out those charities, or if you'd like to support either of those charities, go check out those links. And we have my Discord server where you can talk to me more directly than in the comments section. So if you guys have suggestions for stuff like this that you want to go into more detail than what you want to in the YouTube comments section, feel free to drop your suggestions in Discord. The YouTube comment section works well too, though. That way I know kind of specifically what you're referencing. But totally up to you guys. And then we have the Discord server for the Wolfpack multiplayer SCUM Discord, or SCUM server that I do all of my SCUM live streams on. It is a nice, chill PvE server. Like I said before, base rating is not allowed. We do have NPCs turned on, as well as hordes, but still no dropships and no sentries. But it's a pretty chill server. There's a lot of helpful people on there. So if you're new to SCUM, or you just want a nice, relaxed, laid-back server to play on, where you can probably find somebody to squad up with if you want to. If you don't want to, you can go off and do whatever you want. Go check it out. Make sure to read the server rules page. That will tell you the rules and the settings for the server. And if all of that sounds good to you, then contact either myself, Necros, or Cornbread, and we will get you set up with the password. And then we have my wife's YouTube channel, where she does a variety of videos, including rain and relaxation videos, little comedy videos, paranormal videos, where she posts just informational videos on different paranormal locations, as well as evidence that we have captured during some of our personal investigations. And then we also do our family live streams over there, where we play games like Phasmophobia and Ghost Exile. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting to you, go check out her channel. And other than that, I have rambled long enough. Most of you have probably already clicked off of the video. For those of you that haven't, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.